It's very easy when you get successful at cycling to forget why you did it in the first place. I think the more success you have, the harder that becomes.
It's too hard of a sport to just do it for the money or for whatever other motive you have.
The moment I stop enjoying it and having fun, that's probably the day that I'll retire, but for the moment I've got the best job in the world.
I've never done anything else other than cycling since I was a kid. I've never had a job. Since I was 18, I've earned my money cycling. It's given me everything, cycling. It's made me the person I am today.
You've got to love it to be doing it to the extent that we are.
Cycling's taught me that you can get wherever you want to get with the right work, have extreme highs and lows, and teaches you to be resilient and to always bounce back and just keep working towards your goals.
Taught me about culture, taught me about food, taught me about the body, You just learn so much about everything, like every aspect of life through cycling. The amount of traveling you do, the different people you talk to and come into contact with.
Me ha enseñado que hay que luchar por lo que quieres, pero que hay que esforzarte por ello, que trabajas, lo que entrenas, lo que te sacrificas. Yo que no se compara nada cuando sientes ese mágico momento de ganar.
When you're feeling really well and feeling good on the bike, everything just seems to flow a lot easier and everything just seems a lot more simpler.
You don't find yourself staring at your little computer on your bike for information. You don't even need it really. You don't need to know how many watts you're going or what speed you're going.
Your legs just seem to be turning on their own, and you're going at a good speed without having to chase it yourself. Some days it's there, some days it's not. Some days you get on and you actually have to push on the pedals and it doesn't feel pleasant at all.
When you're struggling and when you're really feeling it, everything seems like more of an effort. Even just getting a bottle or moving up a position, everything hurts you that bit more.
It's a horrible feeling, especially when you're absolutely on your limits and that wheel is just drifting away from you and you can't close it or you can't hold on to it.
It's not nice, especially when it's like 2Ks from the top and you can't hold it anymore. You have to take more risk in the downhill to get back on.
If you had 100 metres to do, you try and hold the wheel because it's only 100 metres. But if you've got 5 kilometres to do, you drop off to, kind of start limiting your losses to the summit. So it's different. It's a bit like that, really. You're just always conscious of your effort and not necessarily the effort of the other person you're trying to stay on the wheel of.
It's different losing a wheel in Qatar than losing a wheel in a mountain stage in Giro or Vuelta or the Tour. Then maybe it's smart to lose the wheel and you can come back if you go your own pace, but in a big classic with the wind and stuff like this, you never ever see the front again.
Sometimes you're like, I have to stay on this wheel, I have to stay on this wheel. I know it's hard now, but if you stay on this wheel for a bit longer, they will slow down and you make it.
It's sort of like the devil and angel thing, you've got one person saying, oh, that's it, that sort of race over, your legs are go, and then you've got another person saying, come on, just one last effort, you can make it, sort of thing.
A race can turn so easily, and guys who are going harder maybe earlier on, especially in the climbs, might not be able to sustain that all the way to the finish. So you just have to keep believing that you're doing the best you can, and that's going to be enough in the end, and just not to give up completely.
Tuve un accidente grave en el año 2007. Donde me fracturé los 2 codos, la muñeca y la clavícula. Para mí fue un accidente que me costó casi 8 meses volver al ciclismo.
My front wheel started going flat, and I took one of the corners without noticing that it had gone flat, and the tire basically just rolled off the rim, and I came down at it was I think it was over 65 k's an hour.
And just went around the left-hand corner, and for sure the guy just touched his front brake, which is like the last thing you want to do when you're going on around a gravel corner. Then I just went bang.
I just remember getting out of the way a little bit, and the next thing I'm laid on the floor trying to get up, and I couldn't.
I just kept rolling and got hit from people from behind, and people rode over me, and I just kept rolling, and it's like, please let it stop.
The guy in front of me pushed me against the traffic island, and I thought I made it. I stay on the bike. And the next thing I can remember is that I was on the floor, laying on the floor. Ambulance came, and I looked at the girl there. She came out of the doctor. I looked at her like,
what's happened? Can I race? And she looked at me and I recognized her face. It was like, so I had 16 stitches around the eye.
I collided with a horse a few years back and nothing went through my mind then. I was just knocked out and woke up in hospital with like my teeth in a little plastic thing next to me, and so yeah, that was pretty bad. Finished doing my lead out, swing over, kind of not really concentrating, sit down, look down the road, watching kind of what's going on in the sprint, and at the same time someone comes past, gives me a little headbutt and I'm lying on the ground at 60k an hour. So I didn't even know what was going on, but I expertly diagnosed the broken collarbone straight away.
Things happen so fast in bike racing, and before you know it, you're on the floor, and you've not really seen what led to that. Really, you don't have a lot of time to think about those things when they happen in races.
It's part of the job, and then you just go on, put on your helmet again, and ride to the finish, do it again.
I'd just love to continue my progression, really take a big focus on the classics, just keep winning, get as many wins under my belt as I can.
Penso di partire forte, dare il massimo questo inverno, dopo cercare di trovare spazio en questo team, aportar todo lo que pueda al equipo. Soy un trabajador, un corredor que ayuda a sus compañeros a ganar carreras y bueno, pues estar a un buen nivel para poder hacer eso durante todo el año.
To really perform in the classics and really prove myself in them, yeah.
If I get the opportunity to have a crack at a win myself, if that opportunity arises in any one of those classics, then I'm going to try and grasp it with everything I can.
I'd like to win Paris-Roubaix or Flanders or one of the other cobbles classics.
I still want to win races, and I'm still dreaming of winning Flanders or Paris-Roubaix once in my career.
I'd love to have a solid go at the Tour, see where I can get on GC, on my own capacity there.
I'd love to win the Tour of Italy and add that to the Tour de France. Really, it's the other race that a romantic race, I suppose. Everyone loves watching it, and so I would love to try and win that.